Okay, hello everyone. Are you able to hear me well? Is my voice perfectly audible? How you people are doing today? Reti, Rakshi, Farooq, Prabhavati, Sandeep, Kelvin, Mohammed, Irshad, Satish. Are you people able to hear me well? Okay, is my voice perfectly audible? Okay, so how you are doing today? So what all, let's have a short glimpses of what all stuffs we did in the last class. Can you just write it down? What all things we have covered in the last class? Yeah. So what all things we have done yesterday? Yeah. What else? Can you give me just short, just write it in one paragraph, what all stuffs we have covered yesterday? Come on, everyone needs to write it down. Whatever you can recall, just write it down. And then whatever we have learned under conflict, everyone out there. So let's, yeah, just write it down. See, Sandeep, Prabhavati, Farooq, Rekshi, Resi, Kelvin, Mohammed, Rashad and Satish. Just write in short one paragraph what all stuffs we have covered yesterday. You people were there, right? Everyone was there. So what all stuffs we have covered yesterday? Is it clear what you people have to do? Just write it down. Is everyone writing that down or not? Are you people writing it down or not? Okay, okay. Let others write it down and then we'll okay, we'll proceed ahead with it. For those who were there, just write it down. And Rekshi, is this your first class? Okay, 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 fine. No issues. I'll come back to it. Okay, Prabha, see, these stuffs we have done in yesterday's class. Let me enlighten you on what all stuffs we have done in yesterday's class. Okay, as you people are not able to recall by on your own. Okay, so yesterday we have learned these stuff. Let me throw some light on that. Okay, are you able to see the board properly, everyone out there? All right. See, modes of conflict, how you can how you can resolve the conflict. This is what we have done yesterday. Okay, so you can resolve the conflict by manipulating communication channels, altering the organization's structure. See, up to some extent conflict is good, right, to enhance creativity. If like people, if people they don't want change. Suppose you might have seen there is a stage, there comes a stage in life, or even you can encounter that at your workplace too, when people get addicted to their position, the work they are doing, and they resist change, right? In that case, organization cannot prosper well, right? So in that case, a bit of conflict is needed to stimulate them, to stimulate their creativity, right? This is what we have learned, right? So how we can do that? A certain amount of conflict, a certain degree of conflict is there to stimulate people, to arouse people, so that they can be creative, they can come out of their shell, right? But before conflict takes any other shape, it should be resolved, otherwise it will be disastrous, right? Only Prabhavati is responding. How about others? Rekshi, is this your first class? Okay, so how to resolve the conflict? There are many methods of it. How we need to resolve the conflict? Like either we see, if we start avoiding it, there is no solution to it, right? If you are avoiding something, obviously you cannot find the pinpoint solution to it, and you cannot resolve it. It is going to resurface again and again, right? And conflict diffusion, what does that mean? When the conflict is there in between two, initially they will be in heated state, right? So at that time, if you can console them, it won't the conflict won't get more negative, right? Conflict diffusion means initially when the conflict arises in between the two parties, they are in a very heated up state. So if you can cool them down at that point, then it won't get more negative, right? You can prevent it from getting disastrous, from from getting spoiled, from reaching to the state of no return, right? And conflict confrontation is the strategy that is being adapted, in which all the issues are being uncovered, and this is how it is being solved. So if all the issues are uncovered, obviously you can find a mutually satisfactory solution for the same, right? Right? So ignoring the conflict, how it is positive and how it is negative, this is what we have covered, right? Imposing a solution, up to some extent it is positive, but it has got its own cons too. If you impose a solution, imposing a solution is needed in that case when you have less time, right? And you have to reach to a certain conclusion. But it won't be good in cases where if you just impose it on people when you have a lot of time, then at that time people might agree, but later on they are going to revolt against you, right? So imposing a situation is only good in cases when you need quick like you need to take quick decisions, right? Otherwise it won't be good, right everyone? Yeah, good evening, Darshana. Okay, smoothing. We have also learned about smoothing. See, if two parties are in conflict, if you can smooth it down, okay, see, they are, if you can find similarities in them, someone who is quite hurt in that conflict, you can pat their back to console them. In that case, if you can console, it can decrease the intensity of the conflict, right? Otherwise, if it continues to increase, okay, suppose there is a conflict, and if it is continuing to increase, what is going to happen? It is going to take a disastrous shape, very disastrous shape, and it will reach to the point of no return. So smoothing is necessary in that case. appealing to superordinate goals. So superordinate goals means rather than focusing on small things, small goals towards which you are, because of which you are fighting with each other, you are having conflict with each other, you should shift your focus to higher goals. Okay, which you have to achieve mutually. Fine. Using representatives, how this could be successful, right? And how this can be disastrous. Structuring the interaction. Okay. These bargaining, how to bargain correctly to resolve the conflict, right? Then problems or conflict confrontation is like when you bring everything in open and you find a mutually agreeing ways to it. Like both the parties come up to the solution by they come up with a joint solution to it, right? That is problem solving. This is what we have learned yesterday, right? Now let's do some activities. In your organization, there is a conflict between two departmental heads on the allocation of budget. Like there is a conflict between the person who is heading the finance department and the person who is heading the marketing department. Very good evening, Ashok. Senthil. Department A feels that they should be given additional funds for its proposed new activities in the offering. Department B objects, saying that the parity between the departments should not be disturbed. Okay. What do you think is the source of the conflict? What strategy do you recommend? Prepare a report, share it with another experienced manager and compare. Now, let me tell you the, meaning of few words. Okay. Offing. What is offing? What is offing? What is the meaning of the word offing? What is the meaning of the word offing? Yeah, between. Department B object saying that the parity between the departments should not be disturbed. What is parity? Equality, situation of equality. Equality. See, both should be treated equally. Okay, so see, both the departments are having a conflict. Department A says that they need to get additional funds so that they can, for the proposed new activities. They might have came up with the new activities, so they want some more budget for the same, some more funds for the same. But Department B is saying no, whatever they are getting, Team A should get that as well. Okay, both of them should get equal, equal amount. Okay, proportionate amounts, right? So what do you think is the source of conflict here? What strategy do you recommend? And this is what you have to answer. Is it clear, everyone? So write down the solution for the same. Farooq Ahmed, Rekshi, Resi, Ajit, Mohammed, Shakil, Nixon Barua, Darshana, Senthil, Vinod Kumar. Are you solving this? Please solve activity J. Yeah, please write down an answer for the same. Okay, okay. See, you have to do activity J, Vinod Kumar. Just read activity J on the board and then sort it out. Okay. Okay, fine. Alright, let's proceed ahead. We'll come to the other activities. Let's do the summary of this. Okay. Now, in this unit, we have considered mainly various types of intergroup conflicts. Intergroup conflicts means the conflict between the groups, as these types are most pervasive and important from the point of view of organization. So, in an organization, you might have seen that there is a lot of conflict in between the two groups, and this is the most, this kind of conflict you are going to find. This is the most abundant conflict which you encounter in an organization, right? Yeah. So this is the most abundant conflict you find in an organization. Okay. In keeping with our emphasis on intergroup conflict, we have defined conflict as a process which begins when A as one party perceives that B as another party is making some conscious efforts to frustrate A in pursuing his interest or goals. Right? So if see, A is going to fall in conflict with B if they'll feel that these people are hindering my progress. Okay, they are doing something which is hindering my, which is curbing me in achieving my goals. Okay. Besides intergroup conflicts, there are many other type of conflicts such as intra-individual, interpersonal, intergroup, and between organizations. In general, conflict process has 4 stages. Fine, Prabhavati. Yep. Of potential antagonism, cognition and personalization conflict, and conflict coping behavior, and conflict aftermath. We have examined 3 different views on conflict. Traditional, right? They say that it's not good at all. Behavior, what they say, what behavior, what is the behavior view of conflict? What do they say? What is the traditional view about conflict? What is the traditional theory for conflict? What do they say? And what does behavior theory say? Interactionist. Yeah, what do they say? Traditional people say that it's not good at all. Okay. What do behavior people say? Okay, they say, okay, and interactionists, what do they say? We fall into the category of interactionists, right? Up to some extent, it's good, right? I don't think you remember that. See, these are the views. The thinking currently prevalent about conflict has been labeled as interactionist view in contrast to behavioralist view, which merely accept conflict as inevitable. The interactionists not only accept conflict, but it also encourages. So interactionists say that you should encourage conflict because up to some extent, it is if people are resisting change. Okay, they have a particular style of working and they have got addicted to that. In that case, you have to encourage conflict, right? So that creativity can come out of it, they can come out of their shell, right? Okay, so this is what the view is. And see, behavioralists maintain that since an organization is composed of individuals, okay, so and a lot of people work there, there will be conflict and it is an inevitable thing, right? So thus, according to behavioralists, conflict was an unavoidable outcome, but at the same time, they believe conflict needs not always be detrimental. Under some circumstances, it could focus on problems and instigate a search for better and more innovative solutions to problems. Though the behavioralists conceded that conflict could lead to more creativity in problem solving and could be beneficial to organization under certain, yet they perceive conflict as harmful something. They resolved when it arose. Their views about human nature was that people are essentially good, trust, cooperation, and goodness are given in human nature. According to behavioralists, the major antecedent conditions which induce aggressiveness and conflict. So, what do behavioralists see? Let me tell you in brief. I don't think you people remember it. Okay. Yeah. Let me enlighten you on this. Okay, because you people don't remember it on your own. Okay. So let's talk about these. I'm just going to change the board so that you can recall what these views are. Okay. See, let's learn about first of all traditional conflict. Okay. Violent Jones has been employed with intestinal distress TACO for a few years. Okay, I'll tell you. Yeah. Can you see it on the board? Okay. How about now? Wait, there's some issue, I guess. Yeah, it would come now. It is going to come now. Yes. See, traditional view of conflict. Okay. Violet Jones have been employed with intestinal distress TACO for a few years. She is a rising star in management and has overcome many job problems with her traditional view of conflict. A traditional view is when conflict is seen as a negative and disruptive type of organizational behavior. That means traditional view means it is completely taken as something which is very negative. Okay. Individual view conflict as destructive and will avoid it at all costs. Okay. Okay, while Violet would rather not reprimand an employee and have conflict arise. Instead, she prefers to try and solve problem herself. Opposite of Violet, some managers with a traditional view try to eliminate conflict with an authoritarian iron fist. They do not listen to other views and force decision on subordinates. Either way, under the traditionalist view, no conflict is acknowledged. Is it clear how traditionalists take conflict? For them, this is completely negative. Okay? Fine. So what is the viewpoint of traditionalists on conflict? Tell me. Yeah. And interactionists. Okay. Violet's co-manager Jeffrey has a different approach to conflict. Jeffrey Berger is the newest manager at the taco restaurant. Okay. Destructive. Yes. He views conflict totally different than Violet. In fact, he feels that conflict can empower a group as well as destroy it. Okay. This view is called interactionist. Jeffrey believes that conflict can either be dysfunctional or functional in nature. Okay. Some of the managers have gotten into arguments over who gets the one corner of it. This is a dysfunctional conflict because the fighting results in a win or lose situation with only one manager benefiting. Right? A functional version of the same situation would be if all the managers discussed how to share the corners office to create a win-win positive outcome. Okay, the managers could have a lottery or rotate use of the office. In both examples, the conflict acts as a catalyst to cause change in an organization. Okay, so if managers employ functional conflict, the changes can be good. Is it clear how interactionist the conflict has? Fine. Okay. Now, this I have already taught you, right? You don't study it at home. You people don't study, revise it at home. How come you cannot recall it? I have taught you a few days back, right? Please. Otherwise, what is the use of teaching? Anyways, let's proceed ahead. Okay, depending upon the nature, intensity, duration and the way it is handled, it could functional leading to higher, see the conflict is functional if it is leading to higher goal attainment, or dysfunctional leading to goal failure. That we have read in the previous whiteboard, right? The section on the sources of conflict has focused attention of a number of factors like competition. Why do conflict arises? Because resources are limited and there is a competition for it. The goals are diverse, right? Task interdependence is also there. It may lead to conflict, right? Differences in values and perceptions may lead to conflict. Okay, so these factors are always there in an organization, and these may lead to conflict. This is surely going to lead to conflict. Okay, so you just cannot rule out the possibility of a conflict within an organization. There you just cannot find even a single organization where there is no conflict, right? There are different modes of managing a conflict in an organization. When a work group shows the symptoms of overemphasizing conformity, compromise, popularity, there may be the need for stimulating conflicts by manipulating. See, if the people are not resisting change, in that case you have to do something which may give birth to a conflict. Okay, so that you can enhance their creativity, you can help them in coming out of their shell. There are 4 distinct strategies of conflict resolution, because as a manager you need to know when and how to resolve conflict. While avoidance and diffusion strategies, okay, allows little or no conflict into open, right? Confrontation and containment strategies deal with the conflict more openly, right? Confrontation means you are just going to make both the parties sit together, all the issues will be discussed in open, because that if you are going to avoid it or hide it, it won't help at all. It is going to resurface again. What is the use? Which strategy is more effective depends on how critical the conflict is to task accomplishment, right? Yes. And how quickly the conflict must be resolved. If the conflict arises, okay, from a trivial issue, it must be resolved quickly. Okay, a conflict avoidance or conflict diffusion strategy is most likely to be effective if the conflict centers around an important work issue and does not need to be solved in a short period of time. Okay, a conflict containment or conflict confrontation strategy is most likely to be effective. Now, so I have already taught you this. You have to answer these 5 questions, but before that, let's learn some keywords. Okay, antecedent conditions. What are that? Yeah, but the spelling of accommodating is wrong. So just kindly correct it. That must be a typing error. I know. You know the spelling of accommodating. The source of conflict, where cause for conflicts exists in an incipient form, but it needs not necessarily lead to actual conflict. Approach conflict. What is approach conflict? Conflict between 2 equally attractive choices, right? Suppose you are getting tickets for Goa and Paris. Both are equally attractive, and now you are having a conflict within yourself whether to go to Goa or Paris. Okay. Although Goa and Paris, there is no comparison. Approach conflict. This we have done. Avoidance, where both conflict between 2 unequally unpleasant choices, or choosing the lesser evil, right? Right, everyone? Avoidance, withdrawal from or suppressing conflict. Bargaining, it is a conflict containment or resolution strategy that involves a mutual compromise, right? Through bargaining is like a mutual compromise and concession through which conflict is being resolved. Behavior view of conflict, the belief that conflict is an inevitable outcome in any group. So behavior view says that it's inevitable. People have different nature, they have different strategies, they have different goals and perceptions. So you just cannot avoid this conflict, right? Conflict aftermath, what is that? Refers to the consequences that different conflict handling strategies may have on the antecedent conditions. It may either resolve it, the conflict, or make for future conflict, right? Conflict handling behavior. It refers to the conscious action of one party to the conflict in checking the other party from reaching his goals. Fine. Conflict resolution refers to the manner in which a manager could address himself to a conflict situation. The chief modes are avoidance, diffusion, containment, and confrontation. Conflict stimulation. Stimulation means when do we adapt the strategy? When do we adapt the strategy of conflict stimulation? Why is it being needed? Can you please answer it in the chat box? Why this is being favored sometimes? In which case it is being favored? Conflict stimulation. Anyone? Conflict stimulation, what is that and when it is being favored? No. See, conflict stimulation is when people have, got addicted with their position. There is no change. They are just sticking to something they are doing since long. Okay, they have forgotten about their creativity. In that case, conflict stimulation, is there. This should be adapted so that you can enhance their creativity. You can help them in coming out of their shell. Right? Right, everyone? I have taught this thing. Confrontation strategy. It is how about others? I haven't taught this thing or what? Satish, you were there. Authoritarian persons, see, they won't do it, but yeah, this is the task of the manager, okay, the team leader, that he's seeing that no one is applying their creativity. So, if you are not coming up with innovative things, your company is not going to do well. In that case, this is strategy is being adapted by the team leaders. Fine. Confrontation strategy. It is a strategy designed to uncover all the issues of the conflict. Confrontation means everything is being comes to limelight. Yeah, and find a mutually acceptable solution. Okay, it can be accomplished through the openness of problem solving or through a comprehensive organization redesign. Containment strategy. It is the strategy of control conflict management where issues are selectively discussed through mediating representatives. Okay, so confrontation is all are brought to limelight in one go, but in containment, they are being brought, some are being selected and brought into limelight while others are being hidden. Fine. Is it clear? Is it clear? Delusion strategy attempts to keep conflict in abeyance and cast tempers through smoothing. Okay, so delusion strategy is like they try to keep the conflict in check by smoothing people. Okay, smoothing is like if someone has been hurt, you try to console them. So this is how you don't let conflict go out of your hands, or you just make them focus on your bigger goals so that they don't fight more, where their joint collaboration is being needed. Okay, dysfunctional conflict is conflict that is going to hinder the performance of the unit. Felt conflict. If you feel the conflict, obviously you are emotionally involved in that, and it is going to have physiological effect on your body, right? So if you will feel stressed out. So that is felt conflict. Functional conflict that supports the goals of the group and improves. So functional conflict is the conflict that leads to positivity, and dysfunctional is that leads to negativity. Fine. Goal diversity this is a very common word. Diversity means difference of goals. Suppose if all Prabhavati and me are working in a different organization, same organization, obviously her goals will be different and my goals will be different, although we might be teammates. Okay. Interactionist view of conflict. They say conflict is not only a positive force in the group, but that is absolutely necessary for the group to perform effectively. Okay. Intergroup conflict is conflict between various constituent units of an organization, such as union and management, various functional areas. Interpersonal conflict is conflict between various individuals in an organization, which may stem from personal dislikes, personality differences. Okay. Intergroup is like between two groups. Okay. And interpersonal means between two people. And intragroup is conflicts within a group. Okay. Fine. Intragroup. Yeah. Interpersonal conflict. Conflict within the individual involving a decision regarding the choice to opt for. So see, there can be a conflict between two groups, there can be a conflict between two individuals, and there can be a conflict between yourself. Like you can you can be in a conflict between there can be a conflict between you and your sometimes you get many choices and you find it difficult to which one to opt for. In that case, you are going to be in conflict with yourself, right? So conflict with yourself is interpersonal conflict. Fine. So you can have conflict with other people, you can have conflict with yourself as well, and with other groups too. Manifest conflict. It results from perceived or felt conflict. Conflict comes out in the open and influences action. Sometimes conflict are suppose me and Darshana are in conflict, okay, and in case of a manifest conflict, it is going to come in open and it will influence action, like she beating me and vice versa. Okay. No, just example. I'll choose someone else. I will choose Prabhavati. Okay. That may happen. That may happen. Okay. Don't worry. Yeah. Perceived conflict. Awareness by one or more parties of the existence of conditions that create opportunities for the rise of conflict. It is different from felt conflict in that it is not personalized. Perceived conflict means if you know that there are situations which may lead to conflict. Okay, problem solving is like bringing about change or resolving conflict through interpersonal discussion. Okay, see, if I am having issues with Prabha, okay, we can discuss it, we can bring it into open, and then we can discuss about it, and then only we can get to know where we are divided, in what terms we are divided. Okay, smoothing is if two people are in conflict and if you console them, conflict is not going to get disastrous. It is going to, this is how you can, this is known as smoothing. Okay. Superordinate goals means higher aims for goals. And task interdependences in an organization, all the groups are interconnected, right? The finance group needs the data, all the groups are interconnected. They have to go, there is a polymorphization and division of labor, right? Like finance department need, the help of the marketing department, all the departments are tied up to HR department too, which selects people, right? So all the departments are interconnected, right? They cannot work in complete isolation. I am not Mrs. Garima, I am just Miss. Okay, so task interdependence is there, right? It works in the form of a cycle, right? No, it's okay. Okay, finance department. Okay, finance department needs the help of the marketing department. They need the help of the HR. So all the departments are interconnected, right, everyone? So task interdependence is there. The other cannot work without if the finance department is not working up to the mark, they are not doing their work, all the other departments will suffer as well, right? So that is known as polymorphism and division of labor, right? It happens in our human body too. There are different systems, right? Circulatory system, respiratory system, but if one system will stop working, the others won't be able to work properly, right? So similar goes with organization. Traditional view of conflict says that all the conflict should be avoided because it is negative. So we are done with this chapter. Tomorrow we are going to start up with a new chapter. Yeah, everything is interrelated. It runs in the form of a cycle. Ajit, Kelvin, Senthil, Vinod, Laksan, Sandeep, Mohammed Irshad, Satish. Is it clear? Do you have any questions from this chapter? Tomorrow we are going to start up with a new chapter. And I was just wondering if I can start with a new subject as well, because we are about to complete this HR. So we'll switch over to the new subject. I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Okay. Now self-assessment questions are there. You have to solve these. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. I'll let you know. Now solve these 5 questions, everyone out there. Just read it one by one and solve it. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. So please solve it. You can, okay. Yeah, most of them are done. I still need to cover, some of them, but I'm not saying I have completed it. I said that most probably, like mostly I have completed it. Okay, not all of it. Okay, so I just need to cover some more and then we are going to switch over to that. Okay. Okay. So Satish, Mohammed Irshad, Sandeep, Prabha, Rekshi, Racy, Mohammed, Nihal, Shakeel, Nixon, Darshana, Senthil, okay, Vinod, Kelvin, and Ajit. Are you solving these 5 questions? Yeah, please write it down. Yeah, okay, sure. Okay. 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 Fine. I'll just be back in 1 minute. I'm just going to the Okay, okay, fine, fine. So that's it for today. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, see you tomorrow. Okay, please be there and please be on time. We are going to begin with the new chapter. Okay, do you have any questions for me? Anyone out there? Okay, okay, thank you so much. Don't forget to fill the feedback form and just put genuine comments there. And please be on time tomorrow. Don't forget to attend tomorrow's class because we're going to start up with something new. So when we start with something new, and if you are there, if you are present in class, obviously you would be able to, you are going to find it easy to understand it later on, right? Because if you are not able to, if you miss out the class when we start up with something, when I start up with something, whether it's me or some other tutor, okay, then in that case, you are going to find it very difficult to understand what she's teaching. And you will remain puzzled all through the time, she's covering that chapter, right? She or he is covering that chapter. Okay, so thank you so much. Take care.